Welcome to Backyard Cigars. I received a package not that long ago, and I opened it up, and in it, aside from the bubble wrap and so forth, were some cigars from Brother Daniel of 505 Cigar Channel, and these cigars. I mean, I rarely share the note. I'm not gonna share the note right now. I'm just gonna tell you that the list of cigars are Fratello, Balancing Act, Cigar Federation, Queen of Hearts, Ezra Zion, Lucille, Cigar Clowns, Payaso, Flaco, and KHC Cigars Cajun, which all seem very interesting to me. Very, very interesting to me. And of course, as always, nice touch with the note and a well protected box. And I'm just gonna, I'll show you the cigars. Here's Lucille. And for those of us that follow Walking Dead, I think you get the gist of the idea. Then this one is probably the one that I'm most excited to research and smoke is the Fratello Balancing Act, which is an American Puro. And Daniel mentioned to me I could add it to my American Puro series. Thank you, Daniel. I will be doing so. This is the Cigar Federation cigar, I believe, and yeah, I believe I'll be reviewing most of these cigars, but this is a quick peek. This is the Queen of Hearts from, all right, and then you have the Payaso Flaco, which is a lancero from Cigar Clowns. Okay, so the cigar I've chosen to smoke and review has been the Cigar Clowns Payaso Flaco. Payaso Flaco translates to skinny clown. And as far as I know, Daniel told me, and he's on good terms with this particular cigar group company. Cigar Clowns are 6 guys from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn, so I'm kind of partial to, their story or their company. And 6 guys from Brooklyn, right, who are on a journey to create the perfect find the perfect cigar blend. And they release cigars in limited batches. I believe Ray and Nick are the 2 general founders, but I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I've seen these gentlemen on some of Daniel's live shows. And they're just regular, hardworking, cigar-loving Brooklyn guys, and that's basically the kind of guy I am. I grew up in Brooklyn. Most of my life was spent in Brooklyn, even if I wasn't born in Brooklyn. I was raised there, and I didn't leave Brooklyn until maybe, I don't know, some time ago. But their story is one that has a lot of people talking, because what they've managed to do in such a short amount of time has been incredible. They have not just started their own cigar lines and help shape these blends and put these cigars out, but with the kind of fanfare that they've done it with, and the way they've used social media to enhance the hype, has been really just amazing. And it's really just, I'm very happy for them, and I'm looking forward to all of their releases. They're very limited, so a lot of people are not going to have access to these cigars. But I mean, I believe if you're a Pravada Cigar Club member, you might have access to them. But this particular lancero, and I think Daniel gave me this lancero because he's such a lover of lanceros that he just wanted to share his love of lanceros with me, and that way I could share my love of lanceros with you. Because if you know Daniel, or if you've watched his channel 505 a cigar review, you know that he can't turn down a good lancero. So it was meant to be that I was reviewing this one first. And I know it must have been really hard for him to part with this particular cigar. I know it was, because I know he looked at it and he was like, should I give away my last Lancero? I don't know. Maybe. Jose's a good guy. I'll send it to him. See what he thinks. So it's an undisclosed blend. We don't know anything about the wrapper, the filler, the binder. Nothing. Nothing. I mean, I dug and I questioned Daniel about it, and he said, look, it's an undisclosed blend. I don't know. And there's really nothing on this cigar. There, if you look up Cigar Clowns Payaso, you might find Payasa, which is a female clown, and you'll find it in like maybe a few odd reviews on the Toro Vitola size. My little guess here is that this is a Mexican San Andres wrapper. This is my guess. I'm usually never going to make a guess on the binder unless there are some clues that may indicate what the binder might be. And just from these first few puffs, I'm gonna say, I'm tempted to say, maybe just because Dominican tobacco is something that I usually pick up on like right away, then I'm gonna say that this may be a Nicaraguan blend. Something with, it could have Nicaraguan and Dominican, or it could have some Nicaraguan and Honduran, or it may be an all Nicaraguan filler. But again, that blend is undisclosed, so we don't really know. Thoughts? I gotta tell you, officially the world's best roller has proclaimed the Lancero Vitola as the hardest cigar to roll, the hardest Vitola size to roll. The difficulty in rolling the perfect Lancero so that you can experience everything that Lancero lovers talk about is rooted in how well the Vitola is rolled. Okay, that's first and foremost. Yeah, we want a great tasting, good tasting Lancero, because what's the point if you rolled it perfectly and the blend is crap or just totally off and you're not going to enjoy it? But that can happen in any Vitola size, right? But then there are grades of difficulty for these different Vitolas within their respective families. So while a Salomon is within a certain family, it is the most difficult cigar Vitola size to roll in that particular family, right? You get it. The Lancero is often ruined by a bad roll. Too tight. Usually it's too tight. That's the main issue. It's a milkshake draw, or for some reason you have construction issues where it just starts to burn very unevenly, or you can't blame the Lancero heat up on anyone but yourself. Because if you're smoking a Lancero, you already know you got to take it a little easy. If it heats up on you and you say, oh, well, it heated up on me so quickly, then no, I mean, you should be aware of that. But that aside, we want a good tasting Lancero. This is a good tasting Lancero so far. It is really good. I'm really enjoying it. Into that first inch of the cigar, started off with some cocoa notes, some light leather. I say light because it's been ramping up. The leather's been ramping up as I smoke it. And it's a full-bodied cigar, almost from the start. Full-bodied, full-flavored. I get a sense that it's like a nicotine heavy, but it's just the way the cigar is, the blend. It's full of flavor and it's full of strength. But it's done so right. I mean, it's just... So I don't know if all six guys sit in a room together and smoke the different blends and come up with a vote on what blend they like most, and then they get their input from whoever's working with them. I don't know how it works. I don't. But I can just imagine that if they're all in this room sitting this particular lancero, this blend, I don't know how many blends they've gone through so far at this point, at this imaginary point, but they're sitting there and they light this one up and they cleanse their palate and they just start smoking it. And I gotta just imagine that they were like, yes, this is it. This is the blend we're gonna go with, because obviously it is amazing. It's really good. I'm loving the way that the strength is finessing its way into the cigar experience. It's not muscling its way into the cigar smoking experience. It's letting itself be known, but it's doing it in a very orderly way. It's just delivering the flavors, not so much in transition, right? Because you're not getting a transition just yet, but more in the way it's just developing. And I'm loving it, man. I really am. I'm gonna spend a little more time, and I'll be talking much more about it. You know, I had pinned this down as a Mexican San Andres wrapper at the start of the review, but as I've smoked it, I've been thinking more, perhaps Connecticut broadleaf, and just I'm looking for clues that might give it away, but it could go either way. It really could, and I've still gotten like this presence of the Nicaraguan tobacco, but I can't say it's Nicaraguan through and through. It could be something else in there. I'm leaning more towards the Mexican San Andres wrapper than I am towards the Connecticut broadleaf, because I keep getting these rich, it's just these rich notes of cocoa, hints of chocolate, coffee in the finish. You get some pepper up front in the front part of your palate, but you don't get it in the back. And you definitely don't get any pepper in the finish. There's a bit of sweetness that is delivered upon, every puff, and just has a very good aroma. It's just very well balanced cigar, very well balanced. It just now I got a little bit of like a white pepper in the finish, but it sort of glowed, it glowed and then it just dimmed out. But it comes and goes, and it's in a nice, it accompanies that coffee note, and it really delivers with just how it transitioned from the first to the second third, and as I'm going into the final third, and it's just shaped up to be a very good experience so far. Still full body, full strength, and really just it's a different type of full strength that I'm normally accustomed to, or that one can become accustomed to, where you get this sometimes an aggressive push of leather, perhaps, or you'll just get an aggressive feel of nicotine strength that will move you a little, so to speak. But in this case, it really doesn't muscle its way in. It really doesn't. It's almost in a flash speedy type of way that it really lets you feel a little bit of the strength of the cigar, and then it pulls back, but it's not as if it's not pulling if it's pulling the punch. It's more as, this is what I'm meant to be. I'm gonna transition in and out of this, and I'm gonna let you feel a little bit of that strength, but I'm also going to give you the other flavors, and I'm gonna give them to you in layers, and I'm gonna marry them, and I'm gonna just take the time to let you experience the flavors. And that's just how my palate is experiencing it. And I'm thinking, wow, yeah. So this is where I'm about to call the review. Nub notes and notes of the final third will be included in the description. But this has been a really pleasurable experience. Surprisingly, uh, uh, much better than what I imagined. I didn't think I was going to smoke a bad cigar. No, I expected a good cigar. I did. I had my reservations because it's a lancero, and I know that sometimes with a lancero things can get sticky. But from the very beginning, just the feel of the cigar itself, from the very beginning of the smoking experience, it let itself be known that in construction, in flavor, in every category, it was a standout cigar and it was exceptional. And what better way to cap your evening off with an exceptional cigar? Thank you, Daniel. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Till next time on Backyard Cigars.